with this part, but I thought it was kind of neat because you can see the takeoff out of St. Ignatius mission, what we call it, and as we rise up, you can actually hear the deceleration of the plane. I just thought it was kind of neat just to see St. Ignatius underneath us, and I included it. Flying over Charlo, Moiese, and you can see the bison range under the wing of the plane there. It's a good point of view to see it from the north side of the bison range. Flying around the western side of the Bison Range, and you can see Mission Creek to the left and the Flathead River showing up. This is pretty cool. It's quite a beautiful green day in June. This is Moiese, the Moiese Bottoms. The Flathead River's down below us there. Look how green it is. This is a great section of the river that does some twists and turns. What we're flying over now underneath us is the Ferry Basin area, and it's an elk preserve. You can see Dixon in the distance there as we fly west. I pan the camera back so that you can see the big curve in the river. When this was Glacier Lake Missoula powering down, it hit those mountains and took a hard right. So that's kind of cool to see that. As you can see here, we're still flying over Ferry Basin, and in the foreground that said Ferry Basin is, and then in the background you can see Rive Creek. Those are the darker trees that are reaching down towards the Flathead River. Most of this area along the Flathead is not treed. It is sort of a high desert Palouse prairie. And as we go along here, we're going to head towards the Sonyuk Fire Tower, which will be on our right. You'll see me pan there. So we'll be flying right over it momentarily. Is banking towards the south so we can get back to the Flathead River. You can see underneath us that this area does have tree line along the top, and those are the roads there underneath to go up to the fire tower. For me, as somebody who's walked these hills over and over again over the past couple years, it's very interesting to see the patterns from the air. Glacier Lake Missoula really affected this area. You can see all the fingers pointing down towards the Flathead River, where the floods went from Polson area all the way out to the ocean. And you can see the fingers here. That's the road that drives up through Ferry Basin. And just look at all of that ground changed from the force of the water. From this height, you can really see the patterns and how it points right to the Flathead, slams up against the mountains, and then heads down river. Some of the rip walls caused by Glacier Lake Missoula as it pounded out of hot springs, and up and over this area, those are the scree slopes, or they're called rip walls when they're referenced to Glacier Lake Missoula, and they're the gray areas down at the bottom of your screen. All of this that you see, except the very tippy top of that hill, was underwater during Glacier Lake Missoula. At this point, we're looking northwest, and we're flying over the Flathead River towards Plains, Montana. Just to clarify, this area was not underwater from the lake, but from the flooding that happened when the ice dam broke, and all the water just came flying out and headed towards the ocean. Here we're looking southeast, and you can look at the striations caused by the flooding from Glacier Lake Missoula as it poured down this canyon. And at the center screen now is a Colk Pond. That's Burgess Lake. It's caused by the flooding and boulders running, circulating underneath the water. It's pretty interesting to see these. There's multiple of these along this corridor where the floods waters cascaded through, and there's more rip walls there, as you can see, and this is designated almost Perma or Paradise. Here we're flying over Plains, and we're going to go see the P of Plains here. This is on the north side of the Flathead River, or the Clark Fork as it's called now. We've completely changed directions now. We've pivoted around Plains, and now we're flying east towards Perma. That's the Perma Bridge underneath us there, the quarry, and we will be flying towards Dixon at this point, going past Vandenberg Creek, Gunderson Creek, etc. This is where I live, and it was pretty interesting to fly by the house and see it from this perspective. These slopes are much more treed and have a lot more vegetation. They're north-facing slopes, so therefore they don't get bombarded by the sun's rays.